Sean's View Entertainment on YouTube.com. Make sure to like this video and subscribe with the TNA Impact Wrestling Review, the debut on Pop TV. It started off in a hellacious way. You had all the contenders, you had all the challenges, you had everyone stepping up to the plate to get theirs on TNA Impact. You had Matt Hardy, you had EC3, you had Bobby Lashley. You had the crazed one, and we all know who the crazed one is. Sean's View Entertainment sure as hell knows what he is. He's had throat surgery upon throat surgery. He's Eric Young, and he could be the young one to win this thing to the end. And it came away with Matt Hardy looking the best. You had Tyrus out there. EC3 was looking dominant at first because they were taking out Matt Hardy. The numbers game caught up, but then Matt Hardy was able to find a way to battle back in a major way. So I'll tell you what, it was a very chaotic scene to kick off TNA Impact Wrestling. And remember to like this video, subscribe, and share this video for more TNA Impact Wrestling reviews here on the only view that matters, Sean's View Entertainment. So to kick off the first segment, it definitely set the tone, in my opinion, for the rest of the night. It was done in a good way, I think. Kicks off with Lashley going one-on-one with EC3. And early on in this match, Lashley hit a devastating spear. But EC3 had the wherewithal. He knew, he had that mindset. He was ring savvy to know to get out of that ring to avoid being pinned by Lashley in the first match on Pop TV. It may not be fair and it may not be right, but Ethan Carter 3 came back with a little cheating, a little antics, pulling the wool over the eyes. Trouble, because tonight it was trouble for Bobby Lashley because EC3 ended up getting the victory and he will now advance. The match was good. The match was good. It was worth a watch in my opinion. EC3 advances. I was actually a little bit surprised at this, but hey, kudos to him. By any means necessary, you know, even though this man used everything possible to get the TNA World title off Matt Hardy, and yet here is this same man resorting to tactics such like this. But would we expect anything less from Ethan Carter 3 to become the TNA World Heavyweight Champion once again? Up next, Kurt Angle came down talking about the Kurt Angle retirement tour. I guess Kurt Angle is going on his last string of matches for TNA. But before Kurt Angle could get into the meat and potatoes of what he wanted to get down to and what he wanted to talk about, Drew Galloway comes down to the ring. Eli Drake comes down to the ring. Jesse comes down to the ring, Big Brother himself, and this is a huge melee, big confrontation, four-man war going at it, tornado style, all four men in the ring at the same damn time. We kind of saw this earlier in the night. I wish they would have took a different approach, went in a different direction with this, but it ended up in a fisticuff, so it was pretty cool to see Kurt Angle once again lock it up, lock horns, and him and Drew Galloway stood tall over Eli and Jesse. So this was an alright segment. Nothing too great, but it was okay because, you know, we saw Kurt Angle and, you know, Kurt Angle going on his retirement tour. So we'll see how that all works. Up to this point, TNA Impact Wrestling, I'll say so. We're only early in. It's only early, so expect the unexpected. Once again, it's all about chances and opportunity. I'm giving this. And if this video gets shared and liked and commented enough times and shared enough times on Twitter and Facebook, I will absolutely bring you the TNA Impact Wrestling review each and every week. Up next, it was another match to determine who was going to go to the finals. The main event, the main attraction of the evening. It was Matt Hardy versus the very vicious and dangerous Eric Young. Now, going into this match, Matt Hardy was not 100%. Going into this match, there was issues. Going into this match, Matt Hardy already had his back against the wall from being injured earlier in the night. So, you know, there was a sound strategy. This match was solid. I liked the match. I liked the process. I like the continuation of this here. Eric Young controlled most of this match, working over Hardy's back and neck, and you could show and see that through this match, Matt Hardy was visibly shaken up. He was visibly hurt. But there would come a point where Matt Hardy's do not die attitude, never say die, never back down. Matt Hardy would come back in a big way. Jeff Hardy would come down to ringside following a pile driver to Matt Hardy on the concrete floor by Eric Young, a very devastating maneuver. Matt Hardy, battered, broken, bruised, would come back in a major way with a huge twist of fate, or could we call it the twist of hate, on Eric Young. The main event will now be EC3 versus Matt Hardy for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. My hat's off to Eric Young and Matt Hardy in this match. Good vibes, solid match. I liked it, in my opinion, up to this point, the match of the night. Up next, it was definitely a defining moment for Impact Wrestling on Pop TV because we saw Bobby Roode put his title on the line against, and you know, I was expecting before Bram, but Bram, I'm just going to Bram it out of there. Oh, I thought it was going to be a Daniel Bryan, maybe a Dolph Ziggler, maybe someone from New Japan, maybe someone from ROH. But Bram comes down, match was okay, nothing to be like, wow, that was epic. But what was epic was what happened after the match because Bobby Roode would get attacked from behind by Eric Young. So then Eric Young and Bram, 2-on-1 assault, gang mentality. You understand how this has been the theme of tonight, you know, gang mentality, 2-on-1, 3-on-1, a 4-on-1 battle royal ensuing. They've been using this theme throughout the night a lot, but it's working to a degree, but you don't want to see the same thing over and over. But anyhow, Eric Young attacks Bobby Roode, and then all of a sudden, here comes the return of James Storm. Remember the great tag team of Beer Money? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what we witnessed here. It seems as if Bobby Roode and James Storm are on the same page to once again gain control of the tag team division in TNA Impact Wrestling. And just for that made this segment worthwhile. That made this segment be what it was at the end of the day. So I give that segment probably about a good solid 3.5, maybe 4 out of 5 stars because, you know, it's like, wow, Beer Money back together again. Who would have thought this would have transpired on TNA on Pop TV, especially that James Storm just came out of NXT. Surprising to a degree. And up next, in what is arguably one of the best and most prominent reasons why I tune into TNA Impact Wrestling, and while I'll stay tuned, is the TNA Knockouts. Not only do they look strong, not only are they smoking hot, but they know how to wrestle. They know how to get it done in between those ropes. It was the Dollhouse versus Velvet Sky, Madison Rayne, and Gail Kim filling in. For all we know, Miss Prego herself wasn't able to be there tonight, so Gail Kim, filled in. But what we saw here, ladies and gentlemen, was a match that was okay. It was okay. It was six women tag team match. But once again, the story was what happened after the match. And this is where I like how they're building up stories, where they're starting programs. I kind of like that consistency, the continuity tonight on TNA Impact Wrestling, where the Dollhouse attacked the beautiful people after the match. Obviously, they're mad and outraged that they lost the match. So they attack the beautiful people, does the Dollhouse. And then all of a sudden, Awesome Kong makes her return. Awesome Kong makes her comeback. She makes a beeline for the ring. Looks like she's going to take out the Dollhouse. Looks like she's going to annihilate the Dollhouse. But instead, she attacks Velvet Sky. Instead, she takes out Gail Kim. Instead, she takes out Madison Rayne. Instead, she is now with the freaking Dollhouse. Wow. What a revolting development on TNA Impact Wrestling. How the hell is this going to impact the future of the Knockouts for Velvet Sky, Gail Kim, Madison Rayne, and the likes of that nature? Wow. The miracle that TNA has been wanting, has been asking, could save them. The miracle of a lifetime. Mike Bennett and Maria are now officially in TNA Impact Wrestling. They have put the entire roster on notice. Can you imagine what Mike Bennett is going to bring to TNA Impact Wrestling? It's a miracle that it took him this long to get to this point. But you know what? The Miracle Man is going to prove why he is every bit worth what he says and what he does in that ring. Mike Bennett is here to save TNA Impact Wrestling. And it's a miracle that TNA hasn't gone out of business by this point. But with Mike Bennett there, they sure as hell will stand the test of time. Up next, Matt Hardy, broken, battered, and bruised. Hurting goes against EC3. TNA World Heavyweight Championship is the place to be. The world title is on the line. Can Matt Hardy recapture that magic and get that victory like he did at Bound for Glory one more time? A solid seesaw back and forth match. High drama, huge velocity in this match. It was the match of the night. They went to the extreme. They went to the finish. But in the end, EC3 all by himself defeated a very game Matt Hardy. But you got to remember, Matt Hardy went into this about 75% after being injured earlier in the night. No excuses. EC3, the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion tonight. Can you believe this? The era of EC3 reigns supreme on TNA Impact Wrestling. Since it's only a 2-hour show, I'm going to rate it out of 5 stars. I'll give it a solid 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I stand by that. It was good. I think it could have been better, but obviously it was worth a watch. Subscribe for more TNA reviews on